Hello, football fans. We're now on to the second half of the look into Week 16's playoff picture, and it's about the National Football Conference. Oh boy. The NFC is always crazier than the AFC, and part of me is like, well, you're just saying this because you're an NFC guy. But even if I was a fan of an AFC team, I would look at this and go, holy moly. But yeah, the NFC's scenarios and picture are nuts, and here it is right in front of you. Uh, First off, the Rams are number one in the conference at 11-3, and they are playoff bound. They locked in the spot this past Sunday when they beat the Lions. A lot more on them later. Number two, the Bears. Yeah, Bears are back in first place in the NFC North, at least until Saturday. Um, number three, Number three, the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. They kind of got back on track. Playing against the Raiders will do that. So they're at 9-5, and at number four, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, barely, and I mean barely, hanging on to the first place in the NFC South at 7-7. As for the wild cards, the Seattle Seahawks also 11-3, but of course the Rams have a tiebreaker over them. The 49ers are at 6 at 10-4, and the Packers, we dropped down to 7, down to 9-4-1. As for what's behind the playoff line of the NFC, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more than the AFC, but isn't really. You have the Detroit Lions at 8-6, a game and a half out of a spot. The Panthers are 7-7, and then there's the Cowboys. Oh, good God, the Cowboys! Yeah, they're pretty much in trouble. As a matter of fact, out of three teams in the hunt, two of them can be eliminated. And spoiler alert, it's not Carolina. So, as for scenarios, five NFC teams can clinch spots. Five of them, including and a division can be won. So let's get to it. Now, normally I go one by one in standings order, but I have to mention this because it all ties together. Of course, Saturday, one of the two Saturday games. Matter of fact, the main event on Saturday, it's Packers Bears, the rematch from a couple weeks ago. Um, it's at Soldier Field this time, and yeah, so both teams both teams can get in this week. Yep, the Packers can get in, and but yeah, both teams get in this week. I'll put they have the exact, and both the Packers and Bears had the exact same scenario. Uh, I'll just put it like this: if the Lions lose Sunday, if the Lions lose Sunday, whoever wins this game on Saturday, whoever wins this game the day before is in. If the Lions lose or tie, actually. If this game ends tied, which I hope doesn't happen, if this game ends tied, then if the Lions lose, both of these teams are in. In fact, if this game ends tied and the Lions lose, the Lions are eliminated. Yeah, that's true. That's the Lions' one elimination scenario. If this game ends tied and the Lions lose, they're eliminated. Oh, the Lions are in Pittsburgh against the Steelers on Sunday, meaning that one last time, Aaron Rodgers can get the Packers into the playoffs. As I said, the Eagles, it's been a mess for them. It really has. It's been a mess for the Eagles, but they got the win they needed. Of course, like I said before, playing the Raiders will definitely helps with that. But they got the win they needed to get, and now they can not only get in, they can win the division. All they have to do is win. Just win, baby, as the late great Al Davis famously said. They win, or if they tie, Dallas has to tie, or even if the Eagles lose, if Dallas loses, Philly gets the division. Oh, and if Philly clinches the division, then Dallas is eliminated because Dallas can't get the wild card. They can't get the wild card. So and Philly is the first half of that Saturday doubleheader. They're in Washington against the Commanders. So if Philly wins, they win the East and they end Dallas' season like that. Seattle. You know, I've said this many times as well, not just as a Packers fan, but as a football fan. God bless the stupidity the Minnesota Vikings. Last year they had Sam Darnold and they won 14 games with a 14, infuriating me to no end. Now they were one and done, but still, 14-3 is nothing to sneeze at. And then for some reason they let Sam Darnold go and they decided to rely on the rookie quarterback JJ McCarthy. We all know how that's going. Well, Darnold's in Seattle, still kicking ass. He's had a few more hiccups than last year, but he's still doing well. And as a result, the Seahawks are 11-3 and right on the cusp of something. Now, here's the thing. I said the NFC's kind of nuts. This week, there are 4 pivotal division games, 1 in each division. Yeah. In the West, the Seahawks host the Rams. The Seahawks host the Rams on Thursday Night Football on Prime. That's going to kick off Week 16. Now, the Rams are already in. If Seattle beats or ties the Rams, they're in. That's it. No questions asked. It's a big redemption considering last year how they lost the division, losing all those home games. But if they win or tie, they're in. Or if Detroit loses or ties, they're in. And then there's the 49ers, or what's left of them. That team has been injured all to hell all year. They've got pretty much a whole team out, yet they're 10-4 and kind of have a shot at the division. They do. But they definitely have a good shot at getting to the playoffs, and they control their own destiny. All they have to do, win. That's it. If the Niners win, they're in. If they tie, they're in. If Detroit ties us, or if Detroit loses, they're in. And about that, it's amazing how one Detroit loss can get 4 teams into the playoffs. 4. It's pretty bad for the Lions, but hell, Detroit shouldn't fret. After all, the Red Wings are good again. But yeah, so in actuality, the Niners could actually clinch before they take the field, because as I said before, the Lions play on Sunday in Pittsburgh. The Niners are on Monday Night Football in Indianapolis. So yeah, they can actually clinch a playoff spot before they take the field. And I did mention there's 4 pivotal divisional games in the NFC, 1 in each division. I mentioned Bears Packers. I mentioned Eagles Commanders. I mentioned Seahawks and Rams. Elsewhere in the schedule, the Bucks and Panthers finally play each other, and that's going to be interesting. Now, they're not part of the clinching scenarios at all. They are not. Neither one of those 2 teams can clinch, but I do know this. I think if the Packers win, then it's going to be division or bust for the Bucks and Panthers. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting, that game. They're playing each other in Charlotte this Sunday, and the rematch is in 2 weeks in Tampa on the final week of the season. Whoever wins will move 1 step closer to winning the division. If Tampa wins, they'll be 1 win away. If Carolina wins, they'll be at most 2 wins away, or a win and a Tampa Bay loss away. So that's going to be interesting to keep an eye on too, even though neither team can clinch. So that is a look at the NFC's playoff picture. If you like this video, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe if you want more. If you're on TikTok and Instagram, feel free to hit that follow button. And the link above, that's to my story on Vocal. Check it out where you can. And I'll be back to recap week 16 as soon as it's over. So stay tuned.